What would you say to those who are just kind of overly critiquing the film at this point? You've worked so hard on it.
Rachel Zegler has completely vanished from the public eye just days after reports surfaced that Disney is allegedly demanding she cough up a massive sum in the wake of the Snow White disaster.
You know the saying, go woke, get broke, and Disney's going to lose money on this movie. And I believe it only made less than $1 million in China.
But this isn't just a PR cooldown. According to new intel, Zegler didn't just retreat from Hollywood. She literally skipped the country, landing in Dubai under a cloud of mystery. Now fans are shocked, insiders are scrambling, and Disney, they're reportedly livid. This abrupt exit comes after a tidal wave of backlash, viral meltdowns, and what some are calling legal warfare brewing behind the scenes. Sources close to the situation say Disney was already weighing their options, possibly activating morality clauses or freezing bonus payments when Zegler slipped away without a trace.
No one on the right side of America can stand the star of this movie.
But you don't seemingly like your own character, so she comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat.
No press, no public appearances, just a clean break that's raising eyebrows. Is this damage control, or is she dodging something way bigger? What really has fans buzzing is the timing. Zegler's overseas escape reportedly came right after internal reports claimed Disney held a high-stakes emergency meeting to determine whether her conduct leading up to the Snow White release could put her in breach of contract. Some think legal action is looming. Others whisper about hush-hush negotiations. But Zegler's silence, combined with her international move, is only fanning the flames. Is she avoiding bad press or avoiding lawyers?
I truly do believe that. There's something wrong with her. She's disturbed, she's unhappy, and she thinks it's about feminism and the patriarchy and about abortion. But the reality is she's just not stable.
And just when you think it couldn't get more bizarre, Zegler's team insists she's merely resetting. But online sleuths have been digging, and what they found is sketchy at best. Scrubbed flight records, deleted comments, and even private jet tracking raising more questions than answers. No clear return date, no public statements. Just growing suspicions that this isn't some innocent vacation, it could be a calculated escape from Hollywood's biggest storm. Disney, meanwhile, is deep in damage control mode. Insiders say the studio is reeling after Snow White's catastrophic performance, with early losses rumored to hit the $250 million mark. Executives are reportedly in full panic mode, scrambling to save face and shift blame. And now, one of the most explosive rumors yet, that Disney is pushing Rachel Zegler to repay part of the financial fallout.
And if you disagree with this sentiment, I don't need your business. Thanks.
Let's rewind for a moment. This woman right here isn't Zegler, but she's gone viral in connection with her. That's how far this controversy has spread. But back in September 2022, Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot, who plays the Evil Queen, were already stirring controversy on the red carpet, teasing a modernized version of Snow White. And it wasn't subtle. Zegler outright said the new Snow White doesn't need saving, won't dream of true love, and is focused on becoming a leader. That's not just a creative twist, it was seen as a direct shot at Disney's own legacy. And the backlash? Immediate. Online forums, fan pages, and YouTube exploded with criticism, memes, and open outrage. Critics accused her of disrespecting the original film, the fans, and the fairy tale genre as a whole.
Rachel is literally the star of a Disney movie, and she acts like she's some sort of victim, and that's the sort of mentality that is just poisoning people's minds.
It wasn't just noise, it was movement. Inside Disney, alarm bells were ringing. Insiders say a top-level closed-door meeting was held immediately after opening weekend. The agenda? Whether Zegler's press tour antics, dismissive comments, political jabs, and controversial soundbites violated any contractual obligations. There's talk of canceled back-end deals, rescinded bonuses, even forced reimbursement. And let's not forget, Zegler made headlines for publicly mocking the original Snow White romance, calling the prince a stalker, claiming the original story was weird, and insisting the film wouldn't be about love at all. At one point, she even joked that all of Andrew Burnap's scenes, the male lead, could end up on the cutting room floor. By now, Zegler's tone-deaf comments had alienated much of the Disney fanbase, and when she finally did issue an apology, it didn't help. Why? Because many believe it wasn't her words at all. According to people close to the chaos, Disney's PR division took total control, drafting and dictating what Zegler should say. The result? An apology that felt more like a press release than a heartfelt statement. Fans were quick to call it out. Social media threads exploded analyzing every sentence, comparing the tone, phrasing, and structure to known crisis PR templates. Some even found recycled lines used in past Disney controversies. The general consensus? This wasn't genuine, it was damage control. Corporate damage control. And just when things seemed like they couldn't get worse, Zegler's attempt to pivot back to excitement, tweeting, "Yay, Snow White, can't wait!" was almost instantly undercut by another post. And never forget, Free Palestine. It was a move that completely blindsided Disney, and some say it was the final straw for studio execs. Behind closed doors, sources claim Disney has been in meltdown mode over Zegler for years now, trying to manage her image, contain the fallout, and somehow steer the Snow White remake back on track. But it may be too late. Instead of easing the backlash, the apology and the way it was delivered only deepened the divide. For many fans, Zegler no longer feels like a passionate voice behind the character, but a scripted spokesperson caught in a corporate storm. And for Disney, this entire fiasco is now symbolic of a larger brand crisis, where authenticity, trust, and legacy are all on the line. Meanwhile, whispers persist that Zegler is overwhelmed, crying behind the scenes, devastated by the backlash and barely holding it together. Her team, according to some insiders, is working non-stop trying to salvage what's left of her reputation. But with mounting backlash, legal speculation, and a growing narrative that she's running from accountability, this story is far from over. But behind the scenes, morale within Rachel Zegler's camp has reportedly hit rock bottom. Just a few months ago, she was poised to become one of Disney's crown jewels, her name buzzing in industry circles, surrounded by talks of sequels, spin-offs, and an entire franchise machinery tailored just for her. Zegler wasn't just starring in a film. She was set to become the face of Disney's new era in live-action storytelling. Industry insiders once hailed her as the breakout star of the decade, a performer with magnetic crossover appeal and the potential to become a global household name. But that once golden narrative has crumbled fast. Now, the tone has done a complete 180. What was once a meteoric rise is being described as a spiraling fall from grace. Whispers from inside her circle paint a picture of chaos. Some are clinging to hopes of a comeback campaign. Others, however, are already shifting into long-term crisis mode, suggesting she may need to vanish from the spotlight for years to recover. In just a matter of weeks, Zegler's Hollywood fairy tale has reportedly devolved into a cautionary tale of PR disaster, and the emotional weight of that downfall? It's said to be taking a serious toll behind closed doors. Meanwhile, Disney finds itself in an equally precarious situation. The company is still weathering the storm of backlash and potential financial losses, and Zegler, whether fair or not, remains smack at the center of it all. The Snow White remake was supposed to be a sure thing. Backed by a massive budget, beloved source material, and a promise of modern magic, executives were convinced it would follow the winning formula of prior hits like Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast. Early projections were sky-high, with analysts forecasting a record-breaking box office debut. But somewhere along the way, the magic slipped through their fingers. Critics argue the final product strayed too far from what made the original 1937 film so treasured. Instead of honoring the nostalgic charm and emotional core of the classic, the new version was accused of stripping away everything fans held dear. Gone were the iconic moments, gone were the heartwarming character arcs. What replaced them felt to many like a soulless reinvention. Audiences didn't just walk away disappointed, they felt betrayed. And Zegler's press appearances only poured fuel on the fire. It wasn't just what she said, it was how she said it. Her comments, like calling the prince a stalker or labeling the original Snow White weird, came off not as thoughtful commentary but as biting criticism of a beloved legacy. Social media erupted into chaos. Hashtags like #boycott Snow White went viral, and Zegler's interviews were dissected frame by frame across TikTok and YouTube. Reaction videos and fan edits spread like wildfire, with every clip deepening the backlash. The tone shifted from criticism to outrage. Viewers accused Zegler of being smug, out of touch, and disrespectful toward the very audience Disney was banking on. For many, it wasn't just a bad film, it was a slap in the face. Then things took a darker turn. Old political posts from Zegler's social media resurfaced, including one tweet where she slammed Trump supporters and wished them harm. That single post reopened wounds and reignited debate, fracturing the audience even further. For Disney, whose films rely on mass appeal across all demographics, this was a nightmare scenario. The Snow White remake transformed from a film release into a full-blown cultural battlefield, and Zegler was standing dead center. The opening weekend was a financial gut punch. Whatever happens, this story is far from over. What do you think? Is Rachel Zegler hiding something, or is she simply trying to survive a public meltdown? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to stay locked in on Hollywood's most explosive scandals and celebrity drama, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Trust us, this one's just getting started.